confidence to do so. So one of the things I want to do is, Becky is with the Tennessee Senate, and I don't think we've got the luxury of not working across all jurisdictions to work with our partners. I think, I know that people think grossly misunderestimate our county mayor. And I think he's a smart guy. And I think on one level, there's an awful lot of business that we can do together, not because we're trying to be friends, other than we've got a duty to our citizens to look after their interest at a very high level. And I've seen times where I think the city feels like it's an island in the stream. And I think that is a luxury we don't have. And I don't think that our taxpayers, our citizens, people who we owe an obligation to, need to put up with that. So unity is a big thing. We need, increasingly regionally, we're 1 million people plus. We've got traffic shared issues. We've got shared issues with resource stewardship, shared issues with traffic, shared issues with law enforcement. How do you do that alone? You can't effectively. And so on some level, we understand that in the state of Tennessee, the legislature is a powerful entity. And I know on the political left, they think, they have this enormous hostility to the legislature. Now, why would you do that? These are your partners. If you want to get something done, you've got to be friends with them and treat them right. We're going to treat you right. And I hope you'll treat us right, too, Senator Massey, because that's the spirit that we're coming at this discussion with. So unity is a big deal. You can't have a successful sports team without unity. You can't have a successful jazz band without unity, and you can't have a successful military unit. These are the great leveling institutions in our society: arts, athletics, and service. And we have a lot of examples of how we can be unified as a community and as people. Safety. Government's number one responsibility is to protect its citizens. We can have bike trails, we can have urban amenities, we can have lots of nice things. If you cannot protect your citizens, you're flirting with illegitimacy as a government. And we are flirting with it. Yes. My hometown is Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville, North Carolina has an armed robbery epidemic. Asheville, North Carolina just had their second day of Juneteenth celebration shut down because some kid ended up shooting up the public square. I don't want that in Knoxville. Did you see what's going on in some of the West Coast cities? This is not just West Coast. This is Asheville down the street. There was a terribly sad set of circumstances in San Francisco. A guy got stabbed and was in his final moments and trying to get somebody to acknowledge his plight. He couldn't get somebody to stop for him. Not in my city. If you're hurt, if your car's broken down, we're going to look after you. I mean, isn't that the volunteer way to care for your neighbors? We don't want to lose that. That's precious. So safety is a big deal. We've hired a new chief. We've got $80 million into a new safety building. But it's easy to spend the money. That's not the hard part. The hard part is stepping up and supporting your people when the fur starts to fly. And that doesn't mean that we support actions that are not professional or illegal, but we have to send clear signals as to what constitutes acceptable behavior. And we send mixed signals in Knoxville. And it's not going to happen. It's one of the things that's really gotten me off the couch. I do not want to live in a city where there's not a strong voice that's clearly understood by everybody as to what constitutes acceptable public behavior. That's what's gotten me off the couch. And I'm going to live in a city that has a strong voice on that. And so that's why I'm here primarily, to tell you the truth. The other is prosperity. I look at the nature of human dynamism and the nature of wealth creation, and it's really fascinating. And human beings are brilliant and crazy and reckless and irresponsible and come up with things that you would never, ever imagine. And we need to unleash a new era of entrepreneurial capitalism in our community. And there's a real disconnect between the political left and my vision of entrepreneurial capitalism. And I know how they think. I know all the folk songs. I know all the fairy tales on the left. They don't like development, but they live in a neighborhood that was what once upon a time. It was a development. So come on, guys. I'm a champion of neighborhoods, but you have to understand the nature of development. We need to breed geese that lay golden eggs for our community, and it's the proceeds from that enterprise that basically kicks off the proceeds so that we can address our more fragile citizens even more effectively. It is that simple. But why is it so hard? I just went to a state school. I understand that. You know, what's going on? Hey, no, Dave, that's not funny. Anyway, we've got it in this community. We need to unleash our imaginations on ourselves. We need to have discussions about the animal spirits of entrepreneurship. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. There's classes and everything else. But who basically liquidates their retirement to move all the chips to the center of the table? Isn't that right, Joe? You know, that's what it takes, and we want to reward that and encourage it and applaud it. On this campaign, I think the handicappers would indicate to anybody that Talman's the long shot. That's okay. Appalachian State was a long shot going into the big house too, weren't they? You bet. We're right on the message. We got stuff in our favor. The feedback, the traction I'm getting with people is good because I'm optimistic. I love my neighbors, I love my people, and I love this community. And my winning suit in this election is I love Knoxville more than the mayor does. That's a winning hand. I'll take it. I appreciate you being here. I need your help and your support. I'm here to deputize you to saddle up and be part of this